It's Oregon-Washington week, rivalry game, Thanksgiving week. I got a chance to sit down one-on-one with Dan Lanning. How's the Thanksgiving looking at the Lanning household?
I don't have the complete answer to that. It's not been my focus yet, but I know I'm going to get to spend some time with the family and the kids. Excited for that.
Growing up, was Thanksgiving at your parents' house or grandparents, or what'd you do?
Yeah, it was always at my parents' house. We always had a lot of family come in. It usually started with the Thanksgiving parade and grandma sneaking us some pie, some custard early before it got started. And and then we watched a lot of football, Lions games.
Are you a tradition guy? Like I can't remember. Like family, I got to think you are because your parents, the kind of role they have in your life.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. We've now it's a little harder now in the role I'm in now for holidays. They look a little bit different than they did growing up, but remember a lot of those special holidays as a kid.
All right. Before we get to Washington, I want to look back a little bit at the USC game. What'd you feel really good about in that game?
I think one thing that game showed is our ability to win games in different ways. We've been a part of some knockout, drag-out fights this year and rain games where it's going to be a low-scoring game. This past game was a game that we were able to go score some points and kind of win it in a different variety of ways. To be able to score some points on special teams was obviously huge. But ultimately, I thought our guys handled chaos, well at times. There was some chaos in that game. And even though there's moments we could have handled better, thought they proved that they could handle those big moments.
That physicality that you guys had is, you weren't here before you were here. That's not what Oregon football back in the day looked like, that physicality, especially against USC. Was that a point of emphasis that you were proud of? I mean, the stat sheet showed it with the rushing yards.
Yeah, and there's been some moments like that in the history of Oregon. I think the difference is how we have that on all sides of the ball now. I think that's one of the big pieces because, we all remember the Kenyon Barner game where he's going for over 300 yards rushing, right? The other side was scoring some points too in those moments. And to be able to, keep a team like that that's been averaging over 200 yards rushing a game to, I think, 52 yards rushing, and then to be able to run for as many as we did, I think that shows the physicality of our team.
All right, that, in the press box, I always get the pregame notes, but I had not seen a note sheet like the one that USC presented for the game, and you obviously noticed that too. Do you always read that note sheet every week?
No, not always. In fact, it was just I hadn't read it, and it was brought to me a little bit before that team meeting. So credit to the CBS staff for pointing it out to me and letting me take a look at it.
Yeah, pretty nice when you get some material there, but I think it gave you a real chance to talk, like to have a message with your team. Now, we all see it on these videos, but do you guys, how does that come together in a week? Do you as a staff sit down on like a Sunday and go, okay, here's our theme for the week? Or how do you come up with kind of the messaging for your team?
A lot of this, we've kind of put some thoughts together before the season's even started. Really myself and Corey Schaefer, a guy that works with our team, we put a lot of thought into it and time. And then ultimately it kind of takes shape, throughout the week. It's going to adapt and change as something, pops up or something we think that could be impactful.
This Washington game, it's a rivalry. Do your guys understand the rivalry, or is it just another Super Bowl week, or how do you kind of fashion that in your head?
Yeah, they definitely understand the rivalry. Some of them haven't been here for it. Some of them have. The ones that have know how important this is, and the ones that didn't, they realize it now. We spent some time on it, making sure we highlight it to our team, and they recognize the importance of this one for sure.
You have talked, I think, it's the coaching carousel spinning right now, and you're watching a bunch of uncertainty out there. You don't have that right now. And you've done, I think, a really masterful job of saying, hey, I want to be here. This is a great job. You might have one of the best couple jobs in the country when you really look at things, but can you maybe speak a little bit to that you're watching that chaos go on around the world and what has happened with impatience with coaches and sort of how that carousel is spinning it's spinning it rapidly in a way that maybe it never has before.
Yeah, it's comforting to be in a place that and you have conviction about where you're at and what you want to be able to accomplish, what you're going to do. So grateful to be in that situation here. And like I said, a lot of the times when you make these decisions before they even get to you, it makes it really easy to know what's the next step. And if we can take advantage of the opportunity to have, some clarity and have some consistency in our program, I think that's an an opportunity to pull ahead from the opponent.
You and Sophia, I think, have talked before about wanting your kids to graduate from the same high school, or is that the plan, or is that something you guys talk about as a family with the kids? You know, I know you've said as long as Oregon will have me, this is the plan, but what's the messaging inside the household?
Oh yeah, my kids are graduating. They're at Sheldon right now, and I got a couple in Cal Young, but got a sophomore in high school, an 8th and a 7th grader, and this will be the place that they get to graduate from. Take a lot of pride in them having that opportunity. Like I said, the one caveat there is I have to keep winning. So as long as we do that, the rest takes care of itself.
Yeah, your sophomore in high school, is he still in the band kid?
Yeah, he's in the band. He's in the band playing clarinet.
What's he think of these Big Ten bands?
You know, I don't know. I don't know that I've done a good job asking him about it. I probably should ask that question.
Yeah, that USC band was off to the side of the press box, way up in the Autzen Stadium, and they were all game just playing the same. And I thought you did a good job of quieting down the band, because it was going to drive me crazy with them playing throughout the game. How much tunnel vision do you get in game situation with what's going on the field and what you can hear aesthetically in the stadium?
Well, I'll just tell you this. I never heard their band. So I guess I had a better seat than you. And that's probably also credit to our fans and what they do. But no, I never heard their band throughout and I do get tunnel vision kind of in those moments for sure.
You get asked about Dante Moore and some other guys a lot, but give me an unsung hero on your roster who just popped into your head when I said unsung.
Just when you said that, Charlie Pickard. Right.
Okay.
Charlie Pickard, you know, in this past game, Poncho gets hurt. Charlie goes in there and plays a hell of a game, was prepared for his moment, was ready for it. And he's been a integral part to our team, you know, ever since I've been here, been a leader. Has always helped us on the punt unit, but then he goes in there and plays at center and executes at a high level. It's awesome to see.
The playoff rankings come out every week and the bracket comes out. And how much attention are you paying to that stuff? Given where you are? Not at all.
No, I mean, if we win, the rest takes care of itself.
But any curiosity? Do you look at kind of what the committee does or anything, or is it just out of your control?
Yeah, I don't spend my time on it. I mean, I've always felt like if we win, the rest takes care of itself. I mean, it might pop up on my feed or something, but I'm not watching any committee interviews or sitting down to watch the selection show. I don't even know when that happens.
The first year you were there, I watched you operate, and you got a million things you're trying to nail down as a first year head coach. How different are you now in after a few years under your belt? What are you delegating more of? What do you feel like you've tweaked or locked in that makes your job a little different?
I'm light years different for one. And I think that where that comes is the expectation of what you have for your program and what you want done. Everybody knows what I expect. And because of that, I can trust everybody to do their job. And it really allows me to float and be a part of a lot of different position groups, a lot of different meetings, be seen throughout the team, which I think is really important, not just get stuck in one area or one place, and lets you have that big, blimp view of what you're trying to do within the organization.
How much do you have to say no to outside requests? Hey, Dan, come play in my golf tournament. Hey, Dan, come show up at this Rotary Club meeting. Hey, come talk to my class. How much do you have to say no? I can't do it.
I hope that somebody else says no before it gets to me, but it happens. Yeah, it happens.
Like, are you good at it? Are you good at saying no, or
I'm better now than I was when I started. I promise that. I said yes a lot early, and I don't say yes as much anymore.
Was it because you were trying to be a people pleaser, or is it just kind of you want to help when you can help, or what shifted?
Yeah, probably a combination of both. But I feel like for me to be best for Oregon, I have to have a laser focus, and then for me to be best for myself and my family, I got to be able to say no sometimes and take advantage of that time with my family. And that's just the way of this game. Wherever I can help, I certainly want to be able to do that. But I'm not a doctor on call anymore.
I got to host the Dan Patrick Show once nationally, and I asked Mark Cuban, who I email with a little bit. I asked Cuban, "Will you come on the show?" And he says no. I mean, just shot back immediately, no. And I was like, no, and there's no reason, something I said. And he goes, "No, I'm saying no to everything right now as it's like default, like everything's no." And he said, "You should try it. It's liberating," because I'm not good at that. Do you find yourself I know you read books, but do you find yourself kind of picking up that kind of advice from other people who are in leadership positions?
Yeah, I mean, It's just there's not enough time in the day to accomplish things at the level that you want to accomplish it and be who you want to be if you're hopping into every single thing. And yeah, for me, that time is very valuable. You don't get time back. So yeah, you got to find some times to say that.
Now, did you smash a Washington helmet last year? Is that what happened?
That was Wilson Love smashing that bad boy, our strength coach.
That's right.
Yeah.
He gets the vein going in his neck.
He's the best, man. Wilson, everybody looks at me in my seat. Wilson spends an inordinate amount of time with our players. Every single player on our team loves this guy, and he's not just a strength coach. He's like my assistant head coach. He's there in every moment, in every fight with these guys. He cares about them. He's spending time with them off the field, and yeah, he brings the juice before games, and he's the same dude every single day. There hasn't been a day that I've stepped in this building where I felt like that guy was different, and he motivates me to go hard every day with the way he works.
Yeah, Bilotti tried to smash a helmet. I think it was a Stanford game, and he hit it with a sledgehammer, and it squirted like a watermelon seed across the locker room. So you got to be careful smashing things in there. All right, what do you see on film? Damon Williams Jr., Washington, pretty good offensive attack. What are you looking at?
Yeah, you just said it. I think it starts with Damon. He can throw the ball unbelievably well, and he can run unbelievably well. So we have to be able to keep him contained. He's got some weapons that he can use. Obviously with Boston outside, his back, Coleman. There's several weapons on that offense, and Jed does a really good job of calling it, making it really tough on a defense. And then defensively, they're very multiple. Ryan Walters done a great job there. They change the front, they change their coverage, they give you a lot of different looks that you have to be prepared for. They game plan you, so there'll be something that's on film that we've never seen before that we'll have to be ready for. And ultimately, it's a really complete team.
You got an opportunity when you were an Alabama assistant to go get interview at Oregon, and you've always talked about that upward mobility for your staff. You've got your guys on your staff that their names are getting out there. They may be talking to people. What advice do you give, your coordinators and your position coaches when it comes to like the opportunities that they may have?
Yeah, the first thing I always tell them is just remind you that the reason this opportunity came is because you're really good at your job. Let's not sacrifice what you're doing great here, because that's going to limit your opportunities down the road. So let's be elite where we're at, and when there's time outside of that you can touch base with other people, I want you to be able to reach those opportunities, and that's a really big goal for me. If it makes sense for our coaches and it's an opportunity that they're interested in, I want them to be able to go get that. That for me, when it's all said and done, will be one of the biggest measures of my success is guys that I was able to help create success for down the road. But ultimately, all of us have had unbelievable focus this week in preparation. And, the timing of the calendar is pretty crazy, the way it all sorts out. It is a little bit of what it is, but our guys handle it like champs. And, the other piece of that is a lot of our coaches, even though there might be opportunities that come their way consistently year in and year out, they say, you know what, that's not the right opportunity for me. And they keep moving. And that's because they recognize it, it doesn't necessarily check every box for them.
All right, I have a wild idea that I could see happening. How colleges used to stash players at community colleges? That was kind of the thing. You couldn't get a guy enrolled. They'd stick him at a community college that they had a relationship with, and they get him later. I kind of see the potential for that happening with like FCS programs, where a school like Oregon could have a relationship with a Portland State and be like, look, this was not a guy for us now, but it's a developmental play. Maybe they end up at Portland State. Could you see those kinds of things happening? Are they already happening, or is that a case by case? Like what is the future of all this?
You're talking player specific?
Players,
like you're saying, like we have like a minor league, like a breeding spot for coaches and players alike,
What if, think about this. Idea. What about this? What if like Portland State ran the same offense and the same defense that you ran, right? And you had guys where you're like, yeah, they're not quite right for us, or they might not play for us. We don't want them to just sit. How about, they go there for a year? I mean, I could see a relationship forming like that. I bounced it off Jason Eck at New Mexico, and he said they're already kind of doing it with maybe like a kid goes to Idaho and then transfers to New Mexico, but it's a case by case. But could you see that happening, that kind of stuff happening?
Right now, it's certainly a little more case by case, at least for us at our level, but maybe something could be created like that at some point.
All right, I'm going to pepper you now before I let you go. All right, rapid fire here. All right, first thing that comes into your mind: paper or plastic when you're at the grocery store?
Yeah, first thing, I don't know. You said paper first.
You just told me. Basically, you said I don't shop at the grocery store.
I've been to the grocery store. It's weird in Oregon. I don't think there's a lot of plastic.
No.
wherever I go. So I feel like
get looked
the last
at
place
funny.
I went was market of choice. And
Yeah.
usually it's like they don't even want you to put it in a bag. You're supposed to walk out with all your
Yeah,
groceries.
just carry all your stuff.
Well, I always ask for a bag.
Yeah.
And I think you have to pay for that here, which is different
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. All right. Mountains or beach if you're on a vacation or retreat?
What time of year?
It's off season for you.
Oh, beach.
You're in a movie, old video store as a kid. What section are you hanging out in as you're picking a movie out?
Yeah, drama, crime.
Really? Yeah. You're going with The Departed. You're going with one of the Godfather movies.
I'm a little dark.
Whatever. All right.
Yeah.
Butter or no butter on your movie theater popcorn?
Butter, but not a big popcorn guy.
All right. Are you drinking a soda if you go to the movies or?
Yeah. But they sell beer at theaters now too.
All right.
And I'll do that.
I'm afraid I'd fall asleep if I have a beer in a movie. It's dark. I got a beer. I'm too relaxed. All right. So your nightstand. Do you have a book on your nightstand? Are you reading anything during season? Do you have that time?
I have a book. I haven't done a great job of reading it. Every once in a while, I'm picking it up and going through it. It's really now I'm drawing a blank on it, so that makes me look really bad. But I think it's the Fort Bragg Cartel, and I don't know. Maybe we talked about this before, and I should be done with the book by now, but I've been a little bit distracted. But it talks about some of the craziness that went through Fort Bragg and what was happening there over the last 15 years. It's pretty interesting book.
Would you ever want to write a book?
I don't know. Maybe I got some good stories. That's for sure.
I think you do. And it shouldn't be one of those, I just want to cash in because I won a national championship. Let me write a book story. It's got to be the real, like, give us the goods, behind the scenes. Take us with you.
I got some good stories for sure.
All right. So I saw you at the Minnesota game PJ Flex in the middle of the field. You guys greeted each other. Looked like you guys get along, right? Like, are there some guys? Yeah, but there are some guys like that you just sort of enjoy being around more than others, maybe, that you just connect or you mesh with.
Yeah, PJ is certainly one of them. And I think it's just a great example of, like, you don't know somebody until you get to be around him a little bit. I've been lucky enough to be around PJ from time to time, and I had an impression of what I thought he was from a distance. And then when I got around him, I just really enjoyed being around him. His wife, Heather, he's an unbelievable coach. I think we believe in a lot of the same things when it comes to culture and how he coaches, and then what he does outside of the community, outside of just football, is impressive to me.
All right, last question. You can be frozen at any age in time. You never age. How old are you?
39 right now.
Time of your life.
I couldn't imagine not getting the opportunity to be around my kids, like where they're at right now. What I get to do right now, coach here right now. This would be a pretty good time. I might maybe go back right before some of these grays showed up, but 39 is pretty good.
Do you, when you come home, does someone come running out the door still? As remember how they used to be?
No, it's not that. Now they try to scare me when I walk in the door. I think Titan last night when I walked in the door was hanging around the corner trying to pop out and make me jump. So I had to have a little wrestling match there to get him back in line.
All right, what are you thankful for? And I'll let you go. Family for sure. The opportunity to get to coach these guys. Thankful for the opportunity to go play a team like Washington this weekend on Thanksgiving. That's an awesome opportunity. All right. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you.